Hey, what's going on, guys? So I kind of failed you guys. I didn't really film too much as far as vlogging style. I've recorded a couple things on my phone, which I'll add into this video. But we pretty much got the turtle back together. The whole turbo kit is done. Thankfully, there is no leaks. Nothing under there. The only bad thing that happened is, remember I talked about that bolt right there? And I cross-threaded it and broke. Well, I tried drilling it and tapping it for another bolt again. Without realizing it, I drilled it crooked. So when I went to go bolt it up to the mount, it broke. So I drilled it all the way through again, and I actually have an M6, just a nut and a bolt. So hopefully that'll work. Realistically, the only reason why I need bolts there anyway is just to seal the O-ring on the mounting. But the other bolt is on there as well, so it should be fine. Anyway, but yeah, this is the completed look, the new look. I haven't really pitched the exhaust pipes for the hood yet. I got to put the hood on to align it. So basically in the morning, I'm going ahead and put the bumper on, get all the body panels back on, and go from there. I did start it. It sounds so good. A lot deeper of a tone than it was originally. So that is good and well. Like I mentioned before, I added in this bleeder, and it actually worked really well trying to bleed the cooling system this time around. I haven't checked the fluid level since I've been home just shortly. I probably have to add a splash of water to it. Actually, the water looks like it's pretty much at the top, so I think actually I'm out of water here. But yeah, it looks like it's pretty good there. I was circulating the system with the engine off, and I did get the water to come out the bleeder. So that tells me that it has circulated through the engine fully. So that is good. That made my life so much easier. 10 out of 10, best thing I've done so far lately. So, like I said, the car's back together-ish. Just a couple more odds and ends. But as far as the engine is happy, engine is healthy. It sounded great when I was running it earlier. I will insert that clip now. So I didn't really bolt the bumper on all the way. I just kind of put the bolts on the top. There's 4 bolts on my little bar. It's kind of cool that this little guy right here is my bumper support now. What I love the most still is the fact that we made it removable if you pull a couple pins out. Anyway, so some of people were asking me how it looked with the new turbo. And to be honest, she looks the exact same. It's tucked right underneath the bumper. And the cool part is I didn't even have to do any trimming. It is kind of close, but you can see I don't have to do any trimming. And then you can get up close and personal with her. Look up under her grill. It's too dark back there, but you can kind of see the turbo back there. But hey, so in the morning, I'm gonna go ahead and put the bolt there, and then put the headlight lids in, put the hood on. And I would really like to see if I can get some sort of a strip of aluminum or something just to run across the center to brace the hood. Otherwise, again, tomorrow I'm gonna have to make some passes without the hood on because I keep forgetting to brace the hood. Oh well. Anyway, I'm gonna go to sleep, and we will be back out here in the morning to finish her up and get her ready for the track tomorrow night.
clean pass.
Make sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Make sure you want me to write that down.
I don't know how to. Why are you recording?
They're nice when they're boring.
Probably texting you.
Yeah.
So I apologize for doing very little filming today. We had that private rental. We got to the track about 4:30. I made one pat. We tried spooling it up on the trans brake, and the car was just very unhappy. We had to do some tuning to get it up on the trans brake, just because the bigger turbo. And that, so I am yeah, it's dark in here. I'm not turning the light on because I ain't got no shirt on. So sitting here driving home now. Unfortunately, I only got 3 passes in today, and today I was supposed to do the 6 for my license passes. So yeah, this is unfortunately 9 o'clock at night, so I would have had a couple more hours, but I'll explain more in a little bit. Alright, so after a wet drive home, finally got home, got the car out, and been chilling. So yeah, today we were supposed to do my 6 license passes to get my NHRA license. So that consists of 1 half pass, 3 moderate passes, and 2 full passes. Well, I can't find any concrete data of what I should and should not do during these passes. A lot of the old school NHRA guys that I know, they say, oh, you got to make a 60, 330 at 8th, and so on. But from what I read, it just says half, moderate, and full. So I did the half pass. I let off at the 8th. The moderate passes, I made full passes, quarter-mile passes, but I had the boost turned way down. Basically, this was the lowest amount of boost I will ever run with this setup. And conveniently enough, it went 10.7 at 128, and then the third pass, it was 10.7 at 129. So very consistent. And also very good news for me, because like my old turbo, the 7675 Precision, I ran it at about 25 pounds of boost, and I went 140 mile an hour at the quarter mile. Well, I ran this turbo at 11 pounds of boost and I went 129. So that's telling me that there's a lot of potential in this turbo, which I'm really excited for, because once we start turning up the boost, it's gonna be fast. So unfortunately, you know, this was a track rental. If I would have, you know, not had Mother Nature against me, we could have made all my passes. And I figured a track rental would be the best place to do what I was trying to do, just to get that many passes, but favor wasn't in my side. So this coming week, well, Friday, I do plan on going back to the track to do the rest of my 3 passes. So after the 3rd pass that you've watched, I was going to turn it up to about 10 pounds on the launch and about 15 pounds of boost going down track. That should speed it up a lot. And then the last 2 full passes, we're going to turn it up. So I wasn't trying to get too greedy, but I know the car definitely has an 8-second pass capable. I do want to see it eventually, whether it be, you know, whatever, it could have been tonight or whether it could be this Friday. Never know. We'll see how things go. So unfortunately, this is it. But so previously in the video, I was mentioning about the spooling up issues. So there is something called a transmission dump valve, which I will be getting. There's 2 things I could do to help the spool up process. I could either A, pull the converter out and get FTI to restall it to help it spool up. But the problem with that is once you start making power on the big end, you drive through the converter and the converter isn't gonna couple hard enough to accelerate the car. You'll be essentially slipping it. Or I'll do what's called a transmission dump valve. Now what that does is it actually removes the pressure out of the torque converter when you activate a solenoid. So essentially I have the 2 lines that go to my transmission cooler, and you tap into one of those lines, and whenever you want a dump valve, you essentially activate that solenoid. It takes all the pressure out of that cooler circuit and dumps it right back in the oil pan, which essentially slips the converter. I would much rather do that. I know the converter is good for my power level, and I know it's going to be good for me, so I would rather not touch that and add a dump valve. Brian's Camaro that we race X275 with, he actually has 2 dump valves on that car with how tight that converter is. He's got one, they call it an internal dump valve, and he's got the external dump valve, which is what I'll be getting. Internal dump valve, you have to have their special valve body and have inside work done, and I don't have that special valve body. So doing the cooler circuit line will be the way I do it. So I'm trying to get my hands on, I'm going to try to go to FTI this week to see if I can buy a solenoid to do so. And yeah, that will definitely help the spooling up issue. We did make it work. I mean, it's about 7.5, 8 seconds to spool it, which is a while, and it is hard on the car. So I do want to shorten that to maybe 3-4 seconds tops. So we'll see how it goes. Anywho, this was kind of a late upload for me, but I just wanted to get the video out. Hopefully Mother Nature cooperates with us on Friday. I need to finish those last 3 NHRA passes. So anyhow, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.